Hello again and welcome back. Class 365. Wow. 365 classes. ¿Será posible? Bueno, 364. This is class 365, but it's just starting now. So up to now, or so far, I have done 365 classes. 364 classes, digo. All right. All right. I deserve a medal. ¿A que sí, Marta? Me merezco una medalla. O una estatua en la Plaza de Colón. Or in the Retiro Park. Yes, una estatua en el Retiro, Parque Retiro de Madrid, al lado del Ángel Caído. Hay una estatua ahí del Ángel Caído. ¿Lo has visto? Okay. El profesor de inglés caído. All right. El profe caído. Al lado del Ángel Caído. That's what I need. I need a statue. 364 classes, and today is 365. Phrasal verbs, compound verbs, pero en este caso solo con el verb to get. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm serious. Phrasal verbs are not important for you for speaking. Phrasal verbs are important for understanding. This is important. I've been teaching English for almost 47 years. I have taught personally probably 2,000 people. I have taught personally 30,000 hours in classrooms, 30,000, and 20,000 hours in radio and television. I've taught English for 50,000 hours. And I've observed people in the learning process. I've observed myself learning Spanish and learning French. So I understand the language learning process from the teaching point of view and from the learning point of view. And what's important here is you will never speak English perfectly. Never. Desengáñate si estás. You'll never speak English perfectly. I don't speak English perfectly. I have my eloquent moments, and I have my less eloquent moments. And the same with you in Spanish. You don't speak Spanish perfectly. You don't speak any language perfectly. You have your eloquent moments, que bien me he expresado hoy. And you have your, I repeat, less eloquent moments, que mal me he expresado en la reunión de ayer. En tu propio idioma, en la lengua materna. In your mother tongue. So remember, you will never speak perfectly. However, it's imperative to understand perfectly. You must understand. This is first. This is first. Okay. La expresión sordo-mudo es políticamente incorrecta. Porque la persona no es muda. La persona tiene un déficit auditivo. Pero no es mudo. Cualquier otorrino te dirá que es sordo-mudo. Él tiene las cuerdas vocales como tú y yo. Pero normalmente no las puede usar bien. Porque no oye. Communication starts here. If this doesn't work, the party's over. The party's over. This must be your priority. Now, you will never speak perfect English, and you don't speak perfect Spanish. Speaking. I repeat, you have your good moments and your less good moments. However, you can perfectly control communication environments with imperfect speech. You need to remember this. To control the communication environment, dominar y tener control del entorno de comunicación, en cualquier idioma, en el tuyo propio o en el mío, the question is to understand perfectly, to be prepared, to know your subject, and to be intelligent. speaking, you will never speak perfectly. However, you are perfectly capable of perfect mastery of the situation. Not mastery of the speech, but mastery of the situation. Now, phrasal verbs, compound verbs, el verbo con preposición. In English, perhaps there are 400, maybe 500 phrasal verbs. Now, only 10 or 20 of them are important for you to learn for active speech. The rest are not important, for active speech. However, for understanding, yes. So, al abordar los phrasal verbs famosos y so many people are afraid of, the only question is to learn them for understanding. And the 10 or 20 phrasal verbs that are important are very typical. Look at, look for, get to, get up, sit down, los más fáciles. However, I am going to introduce many phrasal verbs in the coming months. But remember, most of these verbs, la mayoría de estos verbos compuestos, most of these verbs are for you to understand them, not to use them. I will specify. And remember, normally there is a standard English verb, often Latin verb, that's the equivalent of a phrasal verb. For example, to get across. Hoy o mañana veremos to get across. How can I get my ideas across to you? ¿Cómo puedo transmitir mis ideas de una manera más eficaz para que la gente las entienda bien? That's to get across. To get across. To get across. How can I get across my ideas to you in an effective way? Okay, to get across is un phrasal verb. Muy bien. You must understand it because it's important. But you can say there are two other verbs that are exactly the same. To convey and to transmit. Que tiene raíz latina. How can I transmit my ideas? It's perfect English. Se dice mucho menos, pero it's perfect English. Hasta suena mejor. Yes. Los verbos y palabras en general de raíz latina en inglés son palabras de alto standing en la comunicación. Oh, qué inteligente es. He said to transmit. Suena mejor que get across. Ahora la gente suele decir get across or convey. But to transmit, how can I transmit my ideas? Parece un poco tecnológico, como transmisión electrónica. Pero vamos, to transmit to. So, there's normally an equivalent standard verb in English or Latin verb that perfectly replaces the phrasal verb. Voy a rechazar la oferta. I'm going to turn down the offer. Voy a rechazar la oferta. I'm going to turn down the offer. Pero también, I'm going to reject, que es casi idéntico a rechazar. Reject the offer. Y suena casi mejor. Reject que turn down. I'm going to reject the offer. I'm going to refuse, rehusar, to refuse the offer. Okay. And the Godfather, el Padrino, decía, hazle una oferta que no puede rechazar. Okay, yeah, make him an offer he can't refuse. No decía turn down. Make an offer that he can't refuse. We have olegario again. All right, they're starting. Can you hear the noise? All right. So, the verb to get. Remember, phrasal verbs are for understanding, not for using. All right, to get into the car. Every day, I come here by car. So, the first thing I do is to open the door, the car door, and get into the car. And then I drive here. I park, and I get out of the car. And I come up here. I come up. Subo hasta aquí. I come up here. I do this class. And then I leave. I go out of the room. I leave the room. I say goodbye to Marta. I go back downstairs. I go down to my car. I open the door. I get into my car. I start it. I drive home. I get out of my car. I go up to the street from the parking garage, and then I go home. All right. To get into and to get out of. To get into and get out of. Get into todo junto, eh? Get out of, superado, out of. To get into is meterse en, get out of is salir de, se exige con cierta contorsión corporal. All right. Salir de esta habitación is not to get out of. It's to go out of or to leave. Cuando esta clase termina cada día, salgo de esta habitación, este estudio. When this class ends every day, I leave the room and say goodbye to Marta. I leave the room. I don't get out of the room. No. However, every time I need to exit my car, I need to get out. So, bodily contortion. To get into, get out of. Get into, get out of. Get into, get out of. Cuando es físico, de forma física. Meterse en una caja. To get into. A box. To get into. Si el ascensor es muy pequeño, a veces decimos to get into the elevator. Normally se get on the elevator, porque no contorsionas el cuerpo para entrar en el ascensor. Simplemente das un paso adelante sobre la plataforma suelo del ascensor. So you get on the elevator. But it is correct to get into the elevator, especially in Great Britain, where 100 years ago the elevators were small, and you get into the elevator. To get into, get out of, también se usa de forma figurada. Meterse en un lío. Salir de un lío. ¿Cómo voy? Te has metido en un buen lío, eh? Yeah. ¿Cómo te has metido en este lío? How did you get into this mess? Como Leo Messi sin la I latina. Mess. How did you get into this mess? Oh my God. I'm in a big mess. I'm in a big mess. Estoy metido en un buen lío, eh? Estoy en un buen lío, si dice inglés. I'm in a big mess. ¿Cómo me he metido en este lío? ¿Cómo me metí? Pasado simple. How did I get into this mess? ¿Y ahora cómo voy a salir de este lío? How am I going to get out of this mess? To get into the mess, to get out of the mess. También meterse un lío con la ley, con las autoridades, to get into trouble. Trouble escrito. To get into trouble. No te metas en problemas con la ley. Don't get into trouble. O con las autoridades. Don't get into trouble. Ahora, no se dice get out of trouble. Don't get into trouble. Yes. When I was 16, 17, and 18, when I was driving on Friday night and Saturday night, usually I went out in the car. To go out. Yeah, salir por ahí. And I remember my mother, mi inocentona, mi madre era tan inocente. My mother said, well, have fun, diviértete, have a good time. And my father, desde el salón, don't get into trouble. No te metas en problemas. Don't get into trouble. So my father was more pessimistic. My mother was, you're going out with the car. Well, have fun. Have fun means que te diviertas. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Don't get into trouble. To get into. No te metas en líos. Don't get into trouble. Don't get into a mess. Now, to get on, to get off. To get on is subir a una plataforma, ya sea suelo de un autobús. Es una plataforma que se mueve, que se desplaza. It's to get on. You get on the bus, get off. Get on, get off. Get on, get off. Get on the bus. Get on the train. Get off the train. Get on the platform. Te subes a una plataforma, una tarima alta, you get on. You get on the platform, you get off. Yes, get on. Se dice de forma figurada muchas veces, I want to get off. Stop the world. I want to get off. Para el mundo, que deje de girar, quiero salir, quiero bajarme. I want to get off. So subirte al mundo, to get on, to get off. Stop the world. I want to get off. So to get on and to get off. To get into, to get out of. Luego to get to, eso lo hemos visto mil veces. To get to es llegar a. What time did you get to, what time did you get to work? What time did you get to the office? What time did you get here? Etc. Get by. I get by with a little help from my friends. Yes, the Beatles. What would you say if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? And I get by with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by. Si me apaño con un poco de ayuda de mis amigos, se entiende droga. I get by with a little help from my friends. I get by. To get by es apañarse, salir del paso, arreglárselas. Me las arreglo. Yeah, I get by. I get by. Se usa mucho esto. Richard, do you speak French? Well, yes. I speak French well enough to get by. I can get by in Paris with my French. I can get by. Me puedo apañar en París con mi francés, mi nivel de francés. I have a high intermediate level. I can get by. I can get by. Me puedo apañar. I can get by. Salir del paso. To get by. Por los pelos he salido del paso en esto. I barely got by. So to get by, to get over. Get over is superar algo. Ya lo superarás. I'm suffering a broken heart. Life is not the same. Matilda me ha dejado. Matilda left me. And I'm suffering a broken heart. I don't want to continue. Come on, Richard. Come on. There are 4 billion women on this planet, and Matilda's only one. Come on. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. Ya lo superarás. Se suele decir en español, ya lo superarás, Anda. No te deprimas demasiado. Don't get depressed. Come on. You'll get over it. To get over. To get over an illness. Uy, Marta, should we continue? Well, if Oligario makes too much noise, I will have to stop and repeat this program, and you'll never see this program. These minutes will die forever. So, but we'll try. How much time do we have left? How much time? We'll find, she's going to show me how much time. Ooh, okay, let's continue for about 1 or 2 minutes. If the noise gets worse, well, it's interesting. I'm talking to you as if you're going to see this program, but you'll never see it. Estoy hablando en un vacío. Potencialmente estoy hablando en un vacío. I'm talking in a vacuum. Vacuum, all right, but let's go on. So to get over. You'll get over it. To get over is sobreponerse a algo. Aquí dice, recuperar, vale, de acuerdo. Superar, ya lo superarás. You'll get over it. How long? Yeah, I had a cold it took me 3 weeks to get over the cold. Tardé 3 semanas en recuperarme del resfriado. It took me 3 weeks to get over the cold. It took me 3 weeks. To get over, you'll get over it. You'll get over it. Se dice muchísimo de esta frase. You will get over it. Lo que sea. Yeah. Un desengaño amoroso o una enfermedad, lo que sea. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. You will recover from. Otra vez. Un verbo de raíz latina, to recover. Recobrar. Recover. Recover from. Recuperarse de. To recuperate. Pero no se suele decir recuperate. Recover. You'll recover. Or you'll recover from it. De la situación, de lo que sea. You'll recover. Yes. A recovery. Recovery is recuperación. Recuperation. Recovery. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. So to get over, to get away from, aléjate, mujeres con Marta, cuidado. Get away from them. No, not true. To get away. Aléjate del humo. Get away from the smoke. Aléjate del fuego. Get away. Move away from. Away siempre significa alejándose. To run away es ir corriendo, alejándose de un sitio. To walk away, alejarse andando. To swim away, alejarse a nado. Swim away. To look away es desviar la vista, alejándose de la vista del objeto. Look away. To fade away. Fade away es ir difuminándose. Yeah. To fade away. A mí me gusta enseñar los phrasal verbs en base a la preposición y luego poniendo los verbos. Pero aquí estoy haciéndolo al revés. It doesn't matter. To get away, get away, get away, get away. Quiero alejarme de la ciudad unos días para tomar aire fresco del campo. I want to get away from the city. Get away. I know a little place not far from town. Get away. Let's get away. Let's get away from the city this weekend. Alejémonos de la gran urbe contaminada. Este fin de semana. Vamos a un pueblo pequeño de Castilla y León. Let's go. Let's get away from the big city. To get away. To get away. Ahora, to get away with. Es hacer algo que no debes y no te pillan. To get away with. To get away with. I got away with it. I stole a pencil. There are only 19 pencils now, not 20. Yesterday in the class, at the end of the class yesterday, I stole a pencil. And Marta didn't realize it. I got away with it. I got away with theft. Yes. He robado algo y no me han pillado. To get away with. All right, to get away, get away, get away, get away, to get back. Get back to where you once belonged. To get back. Get back is llegar de regreso. Last week, I went to Barcelona on a Wednesday. I came back on Thursday morning and got back Thursday midday. Then I went back to Barcelona the following day. I got there at midday, had lunch, and caught a train and came back on the same day and got back at midnight. I got back at midnight. All right. Go back, come back, get back. Go back, come back, get back. Listen, I went to Barcelona last week on Wednesday. Wednesday of last week, I went to Barcelona by train. I got to Barcelona around 11 a.m. At 1 p.m., 1 o'clock midday, 1 p.m. I had lunch with a person there. And then I caught the train and came back to Madrid. And I got back to Madrid at 9 p.m. I got back. Llegué de nuevo, de regreso. We say to get back. I came back by train. I got back. I came back by train. And I got back at 9 p.m. Then the following day, I went back. Yendo para allá. Volví. Yendo, no volví viniendo. I went back to Barcelona, had another lunch with a different person, and then came back. And I got back at midnight, in this case, not at 9 p.m. I got back. So, remember this. To go back is volver yendo para allá. To come back is venir volviendo para acá. Y luego get back is llegar. De regreso, se entiende. Se usa muchísimo en inglés, to get back. When did you get back? When did you get back? To get back, to get across, to get through to. To get through to. Ya no se dice. I couldn't get through to him. It's interesting because now we use cell phones. And so we usually call directly from person to person. We don't call through the receptionist or through the telephonist or through la central telefónica. We don't through the switchboard. But previously with landline telephones, hello, yes, may I speak to Francisco Perez, please? And it is, I'll put you through. I'll put you through. I'll put you through means le pongo. Le pongo. All right. Pero see, if it's impossible, I'm sorry, but Mr. Perez isn't in today. May I take a message? No, yeah. I tried to call Paco Perez, but I couldn't get through. I couldn't get through to him. No pude lograr ponerme en contacto con él. To get through to. So to get through, como si otra vez. To get through, you remember? Paco Perez is here, I'm here. The communication. I couldn't get through to him. I couldn't get through to him. But I'm getting through to you now to say goodbye. See you tomorrow.